Hey guys, I'm Kelsey Elders, your certified health coach from Ignite Nourish Thrive Health Coaching, and today we are going to make a super creamy, super delicious, and super easy homemade mayonnaise. Now, I love mayonnaise as a condiment. However, I don't like the mayonnaise that you can buy from the store. There's a lot of additives and preservatives, and a lot of times it's made with industrial seed oils that just really aren't good for our health. So there is an easy alternative you can make from home, and it's incredibly delicious. Now, what I like to do when I'm making my homemade mayo, if you've ever seen a homemade mayo recipe, you probably see it being put in a blender or a food processor, and you have to slowly pour the oil in one little bit at a time so it emulsifies correctly. The consistency is really hard to get right. The flavor might be there, but the consistency can be a little bit difficult. So what I have today is a way to make that a super easy process and super quick and super delicious, because we all like quick, easy, and delicious, right? My trick for this is a cuisine art. It's called a Smart Stick, and it's basically a submergible blender. It's got a little stick you can put in to anything. You can use this for soups, you can use this for smoothies, you can use it for blending your butter in your coffee. Anything that you would basically use a blender for, you can use this submergible stick for. It costs about $35 at the store or online. For a good one, there's some way more expensive than that, but I've had this one. I paid $35 for it about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's still working just fine. I use it pretty regularly. So this is going to help us get the consistency that we want without having to overthink the process of making mayonnaise. So I would love to tell you guys that I created an amazingly tasting recipe for mayonnaise. The fact is that I didn't. I used the recipe from Everyday Paleo from Sarah Fragoso. She has a fantastic mayonnaise recipe. I've tried several other ones and they never just quite do it for me. I love this one and always keep going back to it. The recipe is pretty simple. You probably have most of these items in your house currently. So you're going to take 2 eggs. And as a note on this recipe, the egg does not have to be room temperature. It's going to be 2 cups of light olive oil. As a note, make sure that it is light or extra light tasting, or you can use walnut oil. Anything stronger than the light or the extra light has a very strong and definitive flavor, so you can really taste the oil in it. So just be aware of that. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is a fantastic ingredient, and if you don't have apple cider vinegar in your home all the time, you really should think about it because it's really very versatile. 2 tablespoons mustard. The recipe on Everyday Paleo calls for yellow mustard, but I make mine with Dijon mustard because that's always what I have, so yellow or Dijon, whatever you want. 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and a 1/3 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, to save you the process of watching me mix all of this, I already have this pre-portioned out in my little mixing cup. This came with a submergible blender, so it is a perfect accessory. Now, like I said, for a typical mayo recipe, you would need to slowly and gently pour the olive oil in, but for this recipe you can just put it all in. I put the eggs and everything on the bottom and put the olive oil on top, and what we're going to do is we're just going to stick the blender down to the bottom. I'm going to turn this on, and we're actually going to make this today. Let me make sure you get a good enough view of this. We're actually going to make this today, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to count to 30, and I'm just going to let the oil, or let the mayonnaise blend at the bottom and blend the ingredients, and then I'm slowly going to pull the blender stick out. So let's watch. If you can see, the mayonnaise is slowly starting to fill up where the oil was. I'm just going to hold it here for a couple more seconds. drops of oil on the sides here. So I'll just kind of mix this around at the top so we get everything, and just kind of do one more quick blend from the bottom and go up. So the recipe from Everyday Paleo makes about a quart of this mayonnaise, and you can make the whole recipe, or if you're not sure how you like it, just start with half the recipe. I typically only make half of the recipe unless I have other plans for it. So I could use this and mix it to make a good homemade ranch dressing. I can mix it with some salsa or sriracha sauce for a creamy salad dressing, or I could just add it to my burgers. And it's got a creamy texture. It's got the mayo flavor that you might be missing since you switched to healthy food. And it's got tons of good heart-healthy fats and everything in it. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how it turns out, and happy cooking.